Every single day you wait to start these three movements, your body is quietly making a decision for you. A decision about whether you climb stairs without holding the rail, whether you get up off the floor without help, whether you stay independent, or whether someone else starts making choices for you. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you got out of bed and your body just worked? No stiffness, no bracing yourself before you stood up, no mental checklist before you moved. For a lot of you watching, that feeling is starting to slip away, and it shows up in small moments, reaching for a cabinet and feeling something pull in your shoulder that never used to pull, standing up from the couch and pushing off with your hands instead of your legs, hesitating for half a second at the top of the stairs just to make sure your footing is solid, carrying in groceries and setting the bag down halfway to the kitchen because your grip gave out first. None of that is just getting older. I want to be very clear about that. Those are signals. Your body is telling you something specific is weakening, and it's telling you early enough that you can still do something about it. I've spent over 2 decades working with patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, helping them recover strength, balance, and independence after injuries that, in almost every case, could have been prevented. And here's the part that surprises people. Walking every day is good for you, but walking alone will not protect you from the falls, the frozen shoulders, or the loss of independence that so many seniors are afraid of. Walking works your heart. It does almost nothing for the specific strength and control your body needs to catch itself when something goes wrong. So today, I'm going to walk you through 3 specific daily exercises, not a gym routine, not anything that requires equipment you don't already have at home. 3 movements that together protect your legs, your core, and your balance system, the 3 things most responsible for keeping you independent as you age. And stay with me through all 3, because the third one is the one almost nobody does, and it's the one my patients tell me made the biggest difference in how confident they feel on their feet. Before we get into it, I'd love to know, what city are you watching from today, and how old are you? I read every comment and I answer as many as I can. It helps me know exactly who I'm making these videos for. All right, let's start with the first exercise, the one I consider the foundation for everything else. This first one looks almost too simple to matter. People see it and assume it's for beginners or that it's not real exercise. I promise you, it is one of the most protective movements you can do after 60. It's called the sit to stand. Here's what's actually happening in your body when you do this. Every time you rise from a seated position without using your hands, you are training your quadriceps, the large muscles on the front of your thighs, along with your glutes and your hip muscles. These are the exact muscles responsible for catching you if you trip, or for getting you back up if you ever end up on the floor, and for keeping your knees stable on stairs and uneven ground. Here's what happens when this movement is neglected. Slowly, without you noticing, your legs start relying on momentum and your arms to do the work your thighs used to do. You start pushing off furniture, you start avoiding low chairs and low toilet seats. And if you ever do fall, this is often the exact strength that's missing when it comes time to get back up on your own. Physical therapists have long identified leg strength, and specifically this rising from a chair movement, as one of the clearest predictors of fall risk and long-term mobility in older adults. It's actually used in clinics as a simple test. How many times can you stand up from a chair in 30 seconds without your hands? That single number tells a therapist a great deal about your independence. So here's exactly how to do it. Sit toward the front edge of a sturdy chair, one with no wheels, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Lean your chest slightly forward over your knees. Now, using your legs, not your hands, press through your heels and stand all the way up. Pause at the top for a full second. Then lower yourself back down slowly, taking about 3 seconds to sit rather than dropping into the chair. Do that 8 to 10 times. Rest, do a second set. Aim for this most days of the week, ideally 5 to 6 times a week. If that's too difficult right now, keep your hands resting lightly on your thighs or the arms of the chair for a little support, not to pull yourself up, just to steady you. That's a completely valid place to start. As you get stronger, you'll progress in a few ways. First, you'll stop needing your hands at all. Then, you'll move to a slightly lower chair, which demands more strength. Eventually, some of my patients work up to doing this from a couch cushion on the floor. This is why physical therapists consider it a cornerstone movement, not a warm-up exercise. And I want you to notice something the next time you do it. That feeling, standing up fully under your own power, no push, no pull, no hesitation, that's not just physical. That's the feeling of trusting your own body again. Before we move to the second exercise, if you're finding this helpful, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. This channel exists to give you calm, honest, medically grounded guidance. No gimmicks, no fear tactics, just what actually works. It helps more people like you find these videos. Now, your legs are only part of the picture. There's a deeper system, one most people never think to train at all, and when it weakens, it changes the way you move through the entire day. It's called the bird dog, and I want you to trust me on this one, even if it looks unusual at first. This exercise trains your core, but not in the way most people think of core work. It's not about getting flat abs, it's about training the deep stabilizing muscles along your spine, the ones that keep you upright and steady when you reach, twist, or catch yourself. Here's the mechanism. When you extend an opposite arm and leg while on your hands and knees, you're forcing the small muscles that run along your spine, along with your glutes and shoulders, to fire in a coordinated pattern. This is the same coordination your body relies on when you reach up into a cabinet while standing on one foot, or when you twist to grab something out of the back seat of a car. When this system weakens, you don't usually notice it directly. You notice a kind of general unsteadiness. Reaching starts to feel less secure. Bending and straightening feels stiffer. Lower back discomfort creeps in, not from one specific injury, but from your spine losing the support it used to have from the muscles around it. Research on core stability in older adults has consistently linked weak spinal stabilizing muscles to a higher risk of lower back pain and to reduced confidence in daily reaching and bending tasks. It's one of the most overlooked contributors to that general feeling of being less steady that so many people over 60 describe without being able to explain exactly why. Here's how to do it properly. Start on your hands and knees, hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. Keep your spine in a neutral position, not sagging, not arched. Slowly extend your right arm straight out in front of you, at the same time extending your left leg straight out behind you. Keep your hips level, don't let one side twist up toward the ceiling. Hold that position for 2 to 3 seconds, then return to the starting position with control and switch sides, left arm, right leg. That's one full repetition. Aim for 8 per side and do this 3 to 4 times a week. If getting down onto the floor is difficult, or if being on your hands and knees is uncomfortable, you can modify this standing, holding on to the back of a sturdy chair with one hand while you extend the opposite leg behind you. You'll still get real benefit from the standing version, just with more support. As this gets easier, you'll extend the hold time, working up toward 5 seconds per side. Later, you can add a light resistance band around your ankles for extra challenge. This is why physical therapists use this movement in real rehabilitation settings, not because it's trendy, but because it retrains a pattern your nervous system needs for everyday balance and control. And here's what my patients tell me changes first. Not their back pain, though that usually improves too. It's their confidence reaching into the trunk of the car or bending down to pick something up off the floor without that flicker of hesitation first. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's the one most people skip entirely, even people who are otherwise active. It has nothing to do with strength. It has everything to do with how quickly your body can react when something unexpected happens. A curb you didn't see, a rug that slips, a gust of wind that catches you off balance. It's called the single leg stance, and I consider it non-negotiable for anyone serious about staying steady on their feet as they age. Here's what's happening in your body during this exercise. Standing on one foot forces your ankle, knee, and hip to make constant tiny adjustments to keep you upright. This trains what's called proprioception, your body's built-in sense of where it is in space, without needing to look down and check. This system naturally declines with age, and it is very trainable, but almost nobody trains it because it isn't obvious like lifting a weight is. When this system is neglected, the consequence is a very specific delay between your foot catching on something and your body reacting to correct it. That delay is often the actual difference between a stumble you recover from and a fall. Balance training studies in older adults have repeatedly shown that just a few minutes of daily single-leg balance work meaningfully reduces fall risk, specifically because it shortens that reaction window. Here's exactly how to do it. Stand near a wall or the back of a sturdy chair for safety. Shift your weight onto one foot and lift the other foot just an inch or two off the ground. Hold for as long as you can with good control, working toward 30 seconds. Lower down and switch sides. Do this 2 to 3 times per side, daily if you can. As you improve, try it with your eyes closed for a few seconds, holding on to support nearby. That removes your vision, which forces your ankle and inner ear to do even more of the work, exactly the kind of challenge that builds real, reliable balance. Let's bring this together. The sit to stand builds the leg and hip strength that lets you rise, climb, and catch yourself without hesitation. The bird dog rebuilds the deep stability around your spine, so reaching and bending feels secure again, not risky. And the single leg stance sharpens your balance system directly, shortening that critical reaction window between a stumble and a fall. 3 exercises, 15 minutes a day, most days. That's the whole commitment. Now here's the insight I promised you at the start, the one I really want you to sit with. Falls, stiffness, that general feeling of being less steady, they're almost never caused by weakness alone. They're caused by delayed communication between your brain and your muscles, between what your eyes see and how fast your ankle reacts, between the moment something goes wrong and the moment your body responds. Strength matters, but it's the combination, strength, stability, and quick reaction working together that actually keeps you upright and independent. That's why these 3 exercises work as a set, not as separate options to pick from. And notice what none of this required. No gym membership, no equipment, no hour-long workout, just a chair, a little floor space, and a few consistent minutes a day. This was never about intensity. It's about showing up for your body consistently in small ways over time. I'd love to know, which of these 3 felt the most challenging for you? Was it the sit to stand, the bird dog, or holding that single leg stance? Tell me in the comments, along with how it goes after your first week. I read these and I genuinely want to know how you're doing. If this was helpful, consider subscribing. No pressure, just steady, honest support whenever you need it, video after video, for as long as you're working on this. Your body has carried you this far. With a little consistent care, it's more than capable of carrying you steadily for many more years to come.